आलयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः नमामि गौडपादं च शङ्करं श्रीसुरेश्वरं स्वामिनं सच्चिदानन्दमिन्द्रं तं ज्ञानरूपिणे. ओके. Dharma we have to understand. Vedantins also have to study dharma for sake of karma yoga. First it should be dharma. Second it should be done as a yoga. You can't do adharma, adharmic karma as a karma yoga. Okay. Adharmic karma cannot be done as a karma yoga. It should be dharmika karma and then it should be karma yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna doesn't teach what is dharma more seriously. He touches here and there what is dharma. He emphasizes the dharma into karma yoga. How to do dharma as karma yoga. Therefore, dharma also comes on the way. But dharma is not the main topic. Dharma is not the main topic of Bhagavad Gita. Karma yoga. So for karma yoga, you have to decide what is dharma. Because in dharma itself, there is a part of tyaga. In dharma, a certain element of tyaga is already there. Because you are giving up adharma. You are going only by dharma. Isn't it? Shastrokta dharma. Dharma means shastrokta. That which you select with the help of the shastra according to the adhikaritvam. You only have a choice in adhikaritvam, not in dharma. Okay? In selecting dharma, what is dharma in this given situation? Dharma means the course of action to be done. Dharma means the course of action, the line of action to be taken in a given situation. Can be, you are not going to select the karma. Karma is enjoined by Shastra. You only have to verify what adhikaritvam you have. Desha, Kala, your age and other factors, you only have to verify in what factors you fall. What is your adhikaritvam? In what all conditions you are present. You have to see your adhikaritvam. Once adhikaritvam is decided, karma is decided by Shastra, not by you. Okay, what course of action? So dharma. That dharma has to be done as a karma yoga. But therefore, studying Ramayana will help you in karma and also Vishwarupa Upasana. The 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, even 8th, 10th and 11th. Three chapters Ramayana can fall as a commentary of these chapters. Then while deciding Karma Yoga, in the 3rd chapter Karma Yoga is discussed. In deciding Karma Yoga also karma is a part, dharma is a part. There also it helps. Therefore, for a Vedantin to understand the 3rd chapter of Gita, 10th chapter, 11th chapter and 12th chapter and 8th also. In these chapters it helps. Not only that, in 16th and 17th Asura Sampada, Devi Sampada, there also it helps you to understand the 16th chapter. It helps you to understand the 17th and partly 18th in deciding what is Tamasa, Rajasa, Satvika life. Various qualities of Tamasa, Rajasa and Satvika. Therefore, Ramayana, you can't say Vedantins, we are Vedantins, we study only Adhyasa Bhasha. Why do you talk of all Sita, Rama, all that is superficial trash? See, they talk like this. Superficial trash. Because I told you, Hindus have got a big disease. This is all westernized mind. We want to go directly what is best. Somebody told, to do PhD what is required? You require MA. And that boy told, why should I go to school? I'll directly join MA. But they won't allow you now. Only you have to be 18 or 20 years old boy. Yes. At the age of 20, directly I'll join MA. Why do I have to go to school from the first, second, third? These days nursery and lower upper KG also. In those days there were none. Directly we'll go to first standard. Why should I go to study all these things? I'll go directly to MA. So people want to study Vedanta as a fashion. They don't want to live it. Everybody is a Vedantin these days. Everybody is a Vedantin. There are a number of online institutions of Advaita. Advaita institutions, Advaita. So everybody is Advaita Guru. Everybody comments, they study little bit of one book from Guru, a half book sometimes. Sometimes don't study even that. They read for themselves and become Gurus. They never feel that, do I deserve to be Guru? If that thinking were there, he would have become disciple, not Guru. If he had such a thought, he would have become disciple and he would not have become Guru first. But people jump to become Gurus and then later, after studying all Vedanta, complete Prasthanatraya, discuss, refute people and argue with people, defeat them, then they say they write books and get awards and everything. Then at the age of 50, 60 or 70, then they start doing Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa and doing temple and do Pradakshina and Namaskara. Why all these things? Because now we discovered these things. This is important. This should have been done in the beginning. You already out of arrogance you studied Vedanta. You thought Vedantic study is your sadhana. It is not a sadhana. It is fulfilling your arrogance. Ahankara tushtigoskara Vedanta vodida. Eega japa martane, sanyavandana martane. Ayyo, we have to believe. We have to have Shraddha. And he comes and teaches us. We need to do sadhana. But we started all these things before. We came to Vedanta later. Now he discovered it. Now he goes and teaches everybody as if he's a great man now. This has become a trend now. Everybody study Vedanta, dismiss karma. All that is karma is useless. All that thing, Ramayana, we don't have to study. All that thing later at the age of 60s, 80s, then you start reading Ramayana. Then you start doing pranayama. Then you start doing Sandhya Vandana and Gayatri Japa. Then you consider as a great man. Whole life you live as an arrogant fellow. Old age man, then you start reading beginning sadhanas. Beginners, very small children's level of sadhanas. You say this should become a trend, a normal trend. This is what is becoming a trend now. The modern Vedantins have created this as a normal trend. Come to classes. He doesn't say, do you do any sadhana? Do you do any japa, dhyana, seva? Even seva, samaja, you need to do seva. Seva of your parents at home. You have to do a lot of seva at home, your own personal kartavya, your own discipline. That they don't do. They directly start with Vedanta. You meet any guru, have you studied Upanishad? Have you studied Shankara Bhashya? Come, I am giving classes, please come. New classes are starting, please join Vivek Chudamani classes. We are going to give you in simple, everybody register your name. Everybody register. But does he ask you, do you have Vairagyam? Have you done any sadhana in life? Have you done any karma yoga in your life? No, all Shankara told karma is not required. This has become a fashion now. Advaitins means refute karma, don't do any Ekadashi. See, isn't it? They just make fun of Ekadashi, make fun of any sadhana. Okay. They talk of Vedanta. So first you study. Yaru, one brahmachari used to come long before. He used to come to me. And he used to tell me, I went to meet one acharya, I think Sringeri Shankaracharya or Kanchi, I don't remember. He met one of the acharyas for darshana. And then he asked, what book I should read? I am told that acharya told him, don't study Upanishads, Bhashyas, Vedanta directly. First study Ramayana. He was advised to study first Ramayana. Let values, karma yoga, salpa antarmukhata and vairagya come. Let that be more stronger. Then that inner correction, inner much deeper understanding of life comes by meditation and by self-inquiry. Comes later. But let this life relationship, emotionals, reactions, The personality has got an outgoing personality. Instincts and impulse. First, those instincts and impulse are properly purified. They are removed. The mind should be purified of instincts and impulses. Let it be purified. Let the relationship with the world and the society and all will be smoothened. Then the mind is ready to understand the deeper truth. So, Ramayana is written by no less than a Rishi like Valmiki. We say Valmiki is great only for talks, not for doing Parayana and living. That way, in a way, Vaishnavas are good. They say we study Ramayana, we study Bhagavata, they do Parayanas, they do Stotra Parayana. Every day they do Japa, Stotra Parayana, Namasmarana. Without that they won't even take food. They won't even take coffee. I say it is good. These so-called Advaitins have to learn from these Vaishnavas how they do Upasana, Bhakti, Sadhanas very perfectly well. Ekadashi, small children from the age of 8 or 10 they start Ekadashi. Whole day they won't eat. Do you know that? You have to learn this. These Advaits, oh, what is there in Ekadashi? See how they just degrade it. They just do as they like it. And then when you have a tirtha, when you happen to go to Nadi, you see them. When you happen to go to Nadi, definitely they will take bath. Without having a Nadi Snana, they will not do. People just, they don't care. Vedantins. Swamiji also, Satchidananda Swamiji told one place, in the name of Advaita, how just they don't do anything, they are becoming Nastikas. In the name of Advaita, they are becoming Nastikas. Therefore, Ramayana is very good. See the spirit of Rama. What a sacrifice. The so-called Vedantils also don't have. Ramayana is a Kshatriya. He is following only Dharma. And see his Dharma level. The self-discipline, the self-control, the Tyaga. Oh, what a toleration, the tapas. Without doing all these things directly, Brahma, you get Brahma. It has become a fashion. I tell you, people should feel fear. People should be afraid of talking Advaita, talking Vedanta. Before they do all these sadhanas, they should have a fear. The conscience should question them. Am I ready for Vedanta? To teach that too? Oh, people have no conscience. The fellows who kill the conscience, they become Vedantins, they become Advaitins. They become talkers of Advaitins. See, this has become a fashion. They have no conscience, that's why they become Advaitins. Shall I tell you, in Telugu there is a saying. It is not a very respectable saying. I used to go to somebody's house for one lady, old lady in those days of that widow who was shaven-headed with muddy and all. She would cook food and their family members were there, her son and all were there. They would call me for Bhiksha. She was a good Vedanta. Good in the sense she heard lot of Vedanta. Not that she understood, but she heard lot of Vedanta. And she would say that, hey, Vedantuలు వస్తున్నారు, చెంబు గిన్నె జాగ్రత్త. చెంబు గిన్నె జాగ్రత్త. Vedantuలు వస్తున్నారు. Vedantins are coming to your house for food. Be careful about your chambu and your ginne means the vessel. Other vessels, be careful. Protect them. That means for them everything is Brahma. They will pick up any vessel you give them for drinking water or milk, anything they'll pick up and go away. This is Advaitins. She will tell that. This has become so common. Vedantins come and pick up anything and go. That means Vedanta means for them everything is one. This is the most murkha. This is the most dushta buddhi. Abusing Vedanta. See, Vedantuలు వస్తున్నారు, చెంబు గిన్నె జాగ్రత్త. Because they come only for money. Oh, terrible. This kind of Vedantins we don't want. Even if you offer, they should refuse. We have seen Vedantins. Even if you offer, they will not take. Or if they take, they may take just to please you, out of your respect for you, to consider your feelings and Shraddha Bhakti, they may take. And that too, they take very minimum what just they need bare for their maintenance and sustenance. They just don't go for extra money. See, the simple life they live. Because no bhoga attracts them. You offer any comforts, any pleasures, they won't take. They take a simple life, simple food. Even if you offer all luxurious food also, they take simple food. Because their mind enjoys more the inward sattvic ananda in Bhagavad Chintana Ananda rather than external pleasures. Okay. So therefore studying of Ramayana is good for Vedantins. But I don't know, when I talk of Ramayana, instantly there is a repulsion for Ramayana and Mahabharata for these Vedantins. They always repel. Oh, what is there in this thing? Skip those adhyayas. Even Bhagavad Gita also. Skip those adhyayas. Talk of directly Brahma. See how they talk. Okay. Now coming to the Sita's issue. Okay. This much is Upodghata. 20 minutes are over. This is my habit. Because you are learning from it. If you want to only bookish Pandityam, then you can go to Panditas. They will not talk of any sadhanas, any vairagyam, any self-control, any mind control, self-control. They won't talk. They talk of all of Shastra, Vedanta. If you want to Mandukya, they will talk of only Mandukya. But you see, this is our Sannyasa Sampradaya, where we emphasize we have to live day to day, we have to live like sannyasi. Every moment we have to live like sannyasi. And then along with life, along with living alone, you have to do Tattva Vichara. Tattva Vichara cannot be done at the cost of your life. Moment to moment it is facing, you are facing. Because there is no pleasure, moment to moment you have to tolerate lot of things, no pleasure, no comfort, physical inconvenience, every moment you have to put up with. One day there is food, one day no food. And the physical inconvenience, every moment you have. Disease, no food, nothing. So every moment you have to suffer. Therefore, while living a life of sacrifice, you have to be prepare yourself. The tolerance. The tapas means endurance, lot of endurance. Ishwararpana bhava, what is that? Prasada buddhi. Every problem, every suffering, the only solution is endure. The endurance itself is a great strength for Vedantins. Even for Brahmaloka, Saguna Brahma Pasakas also. Endurance of nonsense of everything. Intellectual torture, emotional hurting, and physical inconvenience. Physical inconvenience of food and clothes and heat and cold. Physical inconvenience, emotionally hurting you, and intellectually irritating you. Intellectually also they talk lot of illogical ideas, wrong ideas and impose, and they try to act a lot. So all these things you have to just tolerate. Intellectual level, lot of wrong ideas, wrong thinkings also we have to tolerate. People hold wrong views, wrong siddhanta, prejudiced ideas. You may correct them or you may leave them. But if you react, then you will lose your mind. The peace of mind, antarmukhata of mind is lost. Therefore, intellectual ideas, emotional hurting, people misbehave, follow against adharma, they tell lies, they will propagate against you. They will simply tell lies against you. Politely tell, there are very polite way of telling also. Politely accuse you. They do all sorts of things. Okay. So this emotionally hurting you, demeaning you, irritating you. And if you are a follower of some dharma, intentionally they come and do, they put a situation that you cannot follow that. It is against your dharma. They say, what is wrong? What is wrong in that? Everybody is doing like that. But you have your own discipline, your own dharma. But they want to do, that means here again you have to do tapas. Every stage is tolerance, every stage it is a suffering. Endurance, every stage there is some endurance. Endurance is required. Because they are fools, they don't want to learn, they can never learn. And if you tell them also they will justify and do the same thing. Only thing is again you have to forego the food and fast today. Again you forego something and tolerate today, endure today. So endurance after endurance, it becomes a terrible suffering. But you have to endure, there is no way. Because the very endurance is the main sadhana for Brahmaloka or even Vedanta. Endurance, sahanam. Therefore, this alone develops shama, dama, uparati, vairagyam, they develops. Vairagyam not only you need two types of vairagya. Not only vairagyam from worldly pleasures. You don't seek pleasures. You don't seek status. You don't seek money. Yet you need vairagyam because people are fools. They stubbornly justify all wrong things. They follow and they interfere in you. They will also make arrangements, only adharmic arrangements for you, so that you cannot follow your sannyasa dharma. They will make an arrangement, either Grihastha Dharma or some other foolish Dharma. They don't know what is Dharma. But they will think that they are all with their Nehru thinking, they will think that is Dharma for you. So, and they won't listen. And moreover, they have got their own Murkha Gurus to defend them, to guide them that alone is Dharma. That alone is Dharma. They have got a Murkha Gurus to talk to them against Shastra. Against Shastra, against Dharma. They tell them this alone is Shastra, do it. This is not there in the Shastra, but they follow. And they want you to follow. It becomes very difficult. You try to convince them, they won't listen. Only thing is endurance. You have to tolerate their wrong views, wrong concept of Dharma. They got a wrong impression. Idol worship should not be done. See, food, any food is food. Why do you want pavitra? You eat anything, anywhere. That's all. We bring from hotel, Swamiji, we brought the food for you from hotel. They tell. And then I say, you can't say that I can't eat. They will start arguing. Instead of arguing, you say, simply I am not hungry and drink water and come away. Don't eat the food. Because there is no point in arguing. Because they live like that alone. Okay. So, not only you need vairagyam from worldly pleasures and then money. You need vairagyam for fools also. Don't try to correct them. Don't try to tell them, advise them in Dharma or Shastra. They want to be adharmic and want to be known as a great man. They live in the ashram, they live with Swamiji, they live in the ashram, but they follow their own Nehru thinking, Nehru Dharma. Nehru means anti-Hindu, anti-Dharma. Okay. They just follow that Dharma is a Dharma. Dharma requires a different thing. Okay. So, Valmiki Ramayana helps you to understand what is Dharma. See, Rama doesn't compromise. People try to tempt them in many ways. Somebody abused him, the elderly person like a Rishi, whom Rama himself respects as a Guru. Gurus come and tempt him, abuse him. Other people try to cry in front of them, fall at his feet. Bharata falls at his feet. For what? To compromise Dharma. Others, all Ayodhyavatis come and cry in front of him. For what? Compromise Dharma. Follow Adharma. You see, Rama doesn't get angry. Patiently tries to tell them, I understand your emotion, I understand your abuse, I understand. But when Jabali Rishi tries to abuse him, he replies sternly, harshly he replies back, this is a Nastikata. Then Vasishtha has understood, my God, even he refuted, he dismissed Jabali also. Then Vasishtha says, Jabali knows what is Dharma. Jabali knows your commitment to Dharma, just to test you. Just to test you, he told it. Otherwise, Jabali himself also knows. See, Vasishtha says, like that, Dharma you have to stick to it. That requires a good tapas. Okay? Oh, today there is no Adhyasa Bhashya. Those who want Adhyasa Bhashya, wait for a few more days. I am talking of Ramayana. See the values. So, okay, let me come directly to the point. Now, first we told Rama rejoicingly declared his victory, announced his victory to Sita. And Sita also became immensely happy and she shed the tears of joy when Sita comes close to Rama right in front of him. When Rama also looks happily, pleasantly, joyfully, lovingly looks at Sita. Sita also looks at Rama with lovingly and joy of meeting after so long time where there was no hope of meeting. Sita thought, will I be able to meet Rama or die like this alone without seeing him? Now Rama won, defeated Ravana and liberated Sita, and Sita comes back and to see them. Just the first few moments there is a joy of meeting. Next moment Rama changes his view and doesn't look at Sita's face because he doesn't have guts to look at Sita. He knows. He doesn't have guts to look at Sita. He looks around and looks this side and then refutes that I can't accept you. Because there is a suspicion. Because Janapavada, Janavadoyam, People, there is a suspicion on behalf of people, so I can't accept you. Okay, if I accept you without verification, a verification acceptable to public, they will accuse us, therefore I can't accept you. Here one point is, that means Rama, nowadays, you see, nowadays people think that I love her and she loves me. We fell in love, so if others don't like, why should we worry? It is not our problem. They means love is purely personal between two people. They don't care society, they don't care dharma, they don't care nation. Even if it is against law, they say law should change, law should permit us. We will marry anybody, any villain, any terrorist I marry. Government should give him visa. Why? Love is great. These films are most rakshasas. You see, you think your film producers are Guru Jagat Gurus? Or rishis like Vyasa and Valmiki? They are terrible fellows. Because they want to spoil the innocent younger minds by talking, oh, superficial. They are all terrible fellows. I am telling you consciously. I am telling you consciously. People should learn this. If there are youngsters, let them listen to what I say. Because they have no idea of what life is, what love is, what heart is, what human life is. So, see Ramayana, Rama sets that right standard. When Sita and Rama married, it is not according to their personal liking. The elderly people accepted, Dasharatha accepted, Kausalya accepted, and then Janaka accepted, the Mena accepted, Mena or Mainaka, what is her name? Maina, I think Janaka's wife, Sita's mother, I forgot. Mena, Yam, it comes with Makara. Mena, Mainaka, something is there. Mena Devi something, Meena, something like that. I'll refer and tell you around that name. So whatever it is, Janaka's family, Sita's family, Rama's family accepted. Not only that, Mithila, Nagara and Dasharatha. In India we call them, we gave the girl to that village. So the marriage is between the villages. The marriage is between the two families. So in those, not only that, we call the rishis. In the marriage, we call the rishis their gotras. Their gotra they call them. Earlier they called the gotra Purva Pitrus. Your father, mother, grandfather, great-grandfather, even earlier, all Pitrus you call them for the marriage. Rishis you call them your Vedika rishis. Gotra Pravartakas and other rishis, Kanda rishi, etc. All the rishis you invite them. And the devatas you invite them. Agni also you invite. Your Ishta devatas, Kula devatas you invite them. Your society you invite them. In front of them as a witness you marry. That means your marriage you join together by the blessing of all these people. All the people, rishis, devatas, parents, whole society shares your love and blesses them. They also feel happy that you became husband and wife. They also become happy and then share your love and then bless you that you become wife. And therefore, the marriage between them is shared by the love and happiness is shared by all, blessed by all. Therefore, it should be dharmika. Ashtavida Vivaha, people keep on talking. See, because these are all European thinking. Ashtavida Vivaha is a nonsensical. I tell you, I repeat it, it is a perversion of the Western Indologists. And we also repeat. Oh, I think this is a different topic, I won't talk here. I think I will give some talks on Manusmriti. I have an interest. I don't know, whoever interested, listen. Those who want to, Adhyasa Bhasha, don't listen. They will listen only Adhyasa Bhasha. But those who want to learn Hindu Dharma, they will listen. I will give some talks on Manusmriti also. I think probably in English. There I will discuss what is all this Ashtaveda Vivaha and all. Okay. So here, I'll tell you, Sita herself tells one event, very interesting event. When Bharata comes and goes away, Rama thinks that Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, if we stay here in Chitrakuta, our residence is become well known to the Ayodhya people. Now they keep coming often and disturb us. Therefore, it is better for us to leave Chitrakuta and go away into the interior of the forest. See, these people not only took away his Paduka. Of course, Bharata's and people's respect for Rama is okay. But indirectly, they have given trouble to Rama. Rama should have stayed in Chitrakuta all 14 years and would have come back. Chitrakuta was on the across Ganga. From the Ayodhya side, it is just to cross Ganga and come to Chitrakuta. That is just end of Uttar Pradesh. He would have lived there alone, and after 14 years he would have come to easily to Ayodhya. No, they came and whole Ayodhya knows Chitrakuta place. Rama had to go to deeper forest and suffer more because of their love, you see. How people think of their own love, their own love, their own love. No, I want to see Rama. If you see Rama, he will be more in trouble. No, I must see him because I love him. This is called a foolish love. This is Avivekis love. If you really love, don't go to Chitrakuta and disturb him. Okay? Let him live in Chitrakuta peacefully, happily, very close to Ayodhya. He will complete all 14 years and come back here easily. He would not have to undergo so much of trouble. But by meeting people, they gave him more trouble. Rama didn't complain. He tolerated. My God, is a continuous toleration. Endurance, he never complained. Even Sita, even in angry mood also, they did not say, oh, we should have stayed in Chitrakuta. Why unnecessarily came to Panchavati? Because of these Ayodhya Vasis. They never told. They never complained. Why did they come and do all these things? They know that we are supposed to live 14 years in forest. Why did they come and disturb us? Bharadwaja also, I can give you a lot of new ideas like this. When Bharata and all these people came to see Rama, in fact, they should have told 1 or 2 people to Chitrakuta, and all of them should have stayed in Bharadwaja ashrama in Prayaga alone on the bank of Ganga. Because so many thousands of people, thousands and lakhs of people came to see Rama in Chitrakuta. Or he could have called Chitrakuta, Rama, Lakshmana, Sita from back to Bharadwaj ashram and meet them and go away, so that nobody would know Chitrakuta. But Bharadwaja revealed the place, residence of Rama, Chitrakuta. Then the Chitrakuta became well known. Rama had to leave the place. See the sufferings, my God. Without complaining, without grumbling, you have to tolerate. Then when he leaves Chitrakuta, first ashrama he goes to is of Atri Ansuya. There Ansuya asks Sita. Sita goes personally to meet Ansuya and then do namaskara and sit there for a while. And then Ansuya asks, I am told that your marriage has become very special and very great, and narrate us everything. Sita narrates the whole. In that thing, one important point Sita says, as soon as the Shivadhanus broke, Rama breaks, and then I was to offer garland to him, and marriage was to be performed according to the pratigna of Janaka. Janaka made a pratigna, whoever lifts, whoever uses Shivadhanus, and I'll give my daughter to them. Now he is supposed to give. When Janaka brought the priest, Pujari, Kalashodaka, water and everything to do Pada Prakshalana, Argyam, Padyam, and then also give. What is the Panigrahana he wanted to do? Ramachandra told, no, I can't accept. Sita says with proudly. Rama refused. He says, elderly people should permit. With their blessing alone I accept. I won't accept anybody. Even in marriage I won't accept a girl on my own. Because this is a Prajapatya Vivaha. Only elderly people decide and give them. I accept them out of respect for elderly people. It is a gift, is a prasada, is an anugraha of elderly people. Then Sita and Janaka became very proud and very happy. How great is Rama. They did not feel bad. These days, if boy or girl say that, no, I should talk to my elderly people, they become, these fellows, no individuality, no personality at all. They want elderly people. All this nonsense. People have fallen. Dharma has become patita. See, these days people say, people have fallen from their dharma. Real dharma is American dharma. American dharma. Even if you suggest them, hey, you have fallen in love, but did you talk to your parents? Take permission of parents. If they say we don't care for the parents, my God, how great you are following American dharma. You are a great girl, great boy. Okay, these days. You have to be praised, yet you are following great dharma. Kali Yuga dharma. Murkha dharma, moha dharma. Okay. Moha is also dharma. These days you should not use any bad words. You should call moha is also dharma. Ajnana is also jnana. Ajnana is also philosophy. Okay? Ajnana is philosophy, moha is dharma. Which Dhritarashtra followed. Okay. So this is a Dhritarashtra dharma. So Sita says that. Similarly, Rama says, Sita and me have become Pati Patni Dampati, not on our own. Now here a suspicion comes. If the public, three things I say, our families, two sides of families, and public, Rishi and Devata, these four people should accept. Because she is not only the wife of Rama, she is a daughter-in-law of Dasharatha and Kausalya. She is a sister-in-law of Lakshmana and Bharata. She is a queen of the kingdom. Okay. So she is also, as a Gruhasthasri, a part where she also offers to do the Shraddha Karma, Yajna Yagadi. She is in all the Yajna Yagas Rama performs. She will participate. And she is also Ikshvaku Vamsha. And the children, when she gives birth to children, the children belong to Ikshvaku Vamsha. Therefore, she has a responsibility as a person of Ikshvaku Vamsha, and as a daughter-in-law, as a wife, as a sister-in-law, as a queen of the whole kingdom. You say the first woman of the kingdom, first woman of Ayodhya kingdom in the modern language. The first woman of Ayodhya kingdom. Now does she have any responsibility or not? How the first person, the first man or the first woman of the kingdom supposed to be? You should be clean from suspicion. You may be clean, but you should appear as a clean to people. Okay? You should appear also that you are following dharma. You should not give room to suspicion. You may be good, you may be dharmic, but the atmosphere also, the around ecosystem also, you should create in such a way that your life should be open to all. Nothing should be hidden and secret. You may do anything secretly. People say that no, people are falsely accusing, therefore I am not. If once there is an accusation, then what Rama has to do? Like our modern people, if there is an accusation against a minister, he will have to resign. Okay. And the inquiry commission is put. After the inquiry commission clears him, then he can get back his cabinet rank. Until that, tentatively he will be suspended. That is a general dharma, so that a standard dharma is followed. Otherwise, people say, my conscience is clear, I know what I am, this opposition is falsely accusing, so that I don't believe. That's all. Opposition also should understand, they also, if falsely accused, this is a big papa for them. These days, Kali Yuga, false accusation has got a great prestige. This is American dharma. Okay? This is a foreign dharma. Falsely accused, you become a great man. Abraham religions say, falsely accuse Hinduism, you will have a special place in. Falsely abuse Hinduism, you will have a special place in. You falsely abuse other religions, condemn other religions, your religion alone is superior, you will have a special place in heaven. So therefore, false accusation has got a great prestige as a dharma in certain religions. And you say that is a barbarism. It is not a human law. It is not a human thinking. It is nothing but barbarism. Accusing falsely is called Mahapapa. Do you know that? False accusation is Mahapapa, equal to Brahmahatya Pataka. Because a good people, dharmic people get a bad name. Do you know what you are doing? Never accuse falsely without verification. Even in posting also, even in Facebook or in Twitter, anywhere, don't put any, don't forward anything without knowing, without verifying it. Falsely accusing somebody is a Mahapapa, equal to Brahmahatya. People should be afraid of Papa. Okay? Never accuse. Verify. Or you may say, I don't know, this is what I am hearing it, but maybe, may not be. At least to say that. So, this is what I am seeing, but it needs to be verified. At least that much option you give. But just don't take it for granted and over enthusiasm spread it. But with your over enthusiasm, what you are doing it. In fact, whole Ramayana, the teaching of whole Ramayana is this. What is this? Don't accuse others without verification. This is a lesson to the nation. Lesson to the Kali Yuga, entire humanity. Okay? Valmiki drafted the whole Ramayana. See, because of you common people, made the life of Sita. This is a lesson to the whole humanity. We don't learn lesson. We only accuse, why should Rama give up? It is not the Rama who stand accused. We society, we human nature, we people stand accused. Even now, are we doing any verification or without verification accuse people? Just accuse people. Verify. Stand, at least let there be good stand. Politicians to do. We journalists to do. Journalism, politicians is a profession of lying only. Okay? There are few good politicians, few journalists, exceptions I leave them. But it has become a great prestige. You do the false propaganda. Let them do. That is their problem. Of course, there are other ways politicians should handle, other people should handle. I am talking a common man. Common man, they think during freedom struggle, we looked upon politicians as great people. The same respect we are giving to the present day politicians and journalists. And you are going into adharma. Okay? Don't take these politicians and journalists are ideal. Their profession is of lying profession. They only lie. They live on lies only. By false propaganda live. There are certain religions, they live on false propaganda. Their whole religion is only false propaganda. There is no satyam. Once there is no satyam, there is no humanity, human values. Where is the question of religion, upasana, bhakti, jnanam, all that is far, 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 far away. First be a basic truthful. In Hindu dharma, satyam is important. False propaganda should never be done. Don't accuse others. Go to elderly people who can evaluate a situation better. Who can evaluate a person, Sita was really accused, Sita is really guilty or not. Go to elderly people, go to rishis, go to talk to elderly people who are mature and impartial people. That's what he says. Yadi vichikitsa syat. If you have got a Taittiriya Shikshavalli says, Mrusha Apavada is there. Etatra Brahmana Samvarshinaha Yukta Ayuktaha Aluksha Dharmaka Masyuhu Ye Tatha Tatra Yatra Tatra Varteran Tatha Tatra Vartethaha. See, go and talk to the elderly people. How they behave, you also supposed to behave. These people have lost it. This is the lesson. Whole message of Valmiki Ramayana is this Shikshavalli's last two statements, last two paragraphs. And has Hindu society learned? This is a message for whole Kali Yuga, because we are more likely to do unknowingly, unconsciously, or by carelessness. By carelessness, how we end up accusing, torturing the lives of people, great people, sincere people, dharmic people, we end up torturing for wrong things. Okay, this is the lesson we have to learn. Do you mean we don't need to learn anything from Ramayana? We want directly Adhyasa Bhasha is enough. If you are so great, of course, my namaskara to you, that you need only Adhyasa Bhasha, you don't need Ramayana, you already become such a saintly man, such a rishi. Of course, we always salute you, such people. We never run down such people, degrade them. Always respect such people that you can directly go to Adhyasa, and you don't need Ramayana, that you already crossed that stage. Okay, so here Rama says 2 points here. When people accuse Rama and Sita became husband and wife by the approval and blessings of two families, their parents, and then society, and also Pitrus, Rishis and Devatas. Now they alone should come and approve, and then if they themselves are suspecting, if they are suspecting, then I can't live as a wife, we can't live as wife and husband together. Again the Rishis, Pitrus, Samaja has to come and clear us from the suspicion and approve us. It is something like reuniting. It is something like remarriage. Remarriage of the same couple, not the another. Modern remarriage is different. Modern days is different. They have to give us a remarriage. Therefore he told, I can't accept Sita. Okay. See, the value is high. Rama's mind, Rama's vision, you see that. He wants to be absolutely in dharma, because he says, Nahamartha paro devis, lokamavastu mutsahe. I want to go to Brahmaloka. I want to live a sadhana meant for Brahmaloka in front of Kaikeyi, Rama told. Lokamavatsu mutsahe, Nahamartha paro devi. Amma, you are still suspecting me that you think that I will just take the kingdom which comes by adharma. I will not take it. I am ready to give up even my life. I jump into fire and swallow poison for sake of you. If you tell me, I'll follow. I am not a money-minded person. Okay? I am not arthakama purusha, arthakama paraha. For me, dharma is important. Nishkama dharma is important. I just want lokamavastu mutsahe, either sakama dharma or nishkama dharma. Brahmaloka I want to go. As I told you, it is a kramamukti sadhana, Valmiki presents. Rama's life is a kramamukti sadhana. Brahmaloka prapti. So that sadhana totally nishkama karma. He says, I can't. Then Sita. Okay. Then Sita understood. He says, I can't live. Mithyapavada yuktaham naham jivitu mutsahe. I can't live. With this false accusation sticking to me, at least suspicion, with this false suspicion against me, I can't live. I can't live means I can't live peacefully. Now what is to be done now? Pravekshe havyavahanam. I want to commit suicide, she did not say. You know that she didn't say, I want to commit suicide. She told, I can't live with that accusation. Oh, where did I? Oh, just a minute. The pages have turned somewhere. Okay. She says, now the only thing I have got is, I want to enter forest. I want to enter fire. I want to enter fire. See, Rama didn't ask for fire pariksha, Agni pariksha. Sita also, in the beginning sentences, it is very not clear, ambiguous. Whether she wants to commit suicide by jumping into fire. She says, I cannot live with this false accusation. So only thing is, I will enter fire. But it means, entering fire means, I want fire to testify my purity. That's what it implies. Because in the next sentence, she does the pradakshina. Rama is facing down because unable to look at her. Adhomukam Ramam. See, Sita comes first, does the pradakshina of Rama. She says, I have the same love, same respect. See, Sita's heart. I look upon him, even he accused me falsely like this, still I don't lose respect for him. I have the same respect that Pati is my Devata. With that, she does pradakshina to him, does namaskara to him, goes to fire and does the pradakshina to the fire and does namaskara. And she prays to the fire, Nishanke Nantaratmana, with a clean heart. Sita is not angry, neither worry. In the eyes, there is no anger. There is no worry. There is no frustration. People think that out of depression she committed suicide. No, there is no depression. Nishanke Nantaratmana. She was so confident, fire will protect me. You know that? She says, fire will protect me. You know what he says? She says, O Agni, you protect me. Sakshi mam sarvatah patu pavakaha. Let the fire, who is a Sakshi, Lokasya Sakshi, Mam Sarvatah Patu Pavakaha. Now at the time of stepping into fire, she pleads that let him protect me. She doesn't say let him swallow me and kill me. Because I am unable to see these things, I don't want to be alive, so therefore I want to forget this suffering. See, when you swallow the poison under depression, what do? I have been accused, I have been insulted, I can't bear my insult, therefore I want to commit suicide and forget my insult. She is not telling. Let fire give the witness and prove this. She says, Mam sarvatah patu pavakaha yatha mam shuddhacharitram dushtam janati ragavah tatha lokasya sakshi. Because Rama has got a suspicion, so that you clear the suspicion, O fire. Earlier Sita, two things I have to say. Earlier Sita prayed to Agni like this before. I think I have got many points to say. I don't know, you have patience to listen. I have got certain ideas to say. I wanted to finish in 2 or 3 classes, but it is extending. I think it will take another 2 classes. Okay? Anyway, this will remain as a record because of a video we are recording, therefore let them remain once, we say. See, when Hanuman's tail was set on fire by Ravana's people in Lanka. Then Sita was informed by the people around who are looking after her, the other Lanka Stris, the women of Lanka who are in charge of Sita. Hey, do you know what happened? Hanuman was caught earlier, arrested and taken to Ravana's Sabha, and there, after accusing, after discussing, after verifying, after doing that inquiry, who is he, why is he doing like that, what he brought, he got the message from Rama that you give up Sita, you send away the Sita with all respect. So he not only got a message, he threatened also. Otherwise, you will have to face a big war and you will be killed. So these things with Rama got angry and then set his tail on fire. When Sita was informed of these things, you know what Sita told it? Immediately she prayed to Agni. Wo Agni, Shito bhava hanumataha, Shito bhava hanumataha. The fire cools down. See, Sita has got a Agni Devata Siddhi. From this also you have to learn. In those days, Agni Puja, Agni Aradhana, everybody would do Agni Hotra. Nityagni Hotra, they were doing it. Rama and Sita together do Nityagni Hotra. If you do your own Ishtadevata, now you have got a Rama, Krishna, Shiva, whoever is your Ishtadevata, take them, believe them wholeheartedly. Don't do any aparadha to your Ishtadevata. I tell you, your Ishtadevata aparadha is a real weakness of you. Everybody who has got Ishtadevata, according to your Ishtadevata sadhana, every day do sincerely. If you get Ishtadevata Siddhi, in case of trouble, they will protect you. I tell you, they will protect you. If you have got Ishtadevata Anugraha Siddhi, in all trouble, this culture we have lost. Everybody should have your Ishtadevata Puja Prati Divsa. At least Parayana, Shlokar, Namaskar or something. That Ishtadevata Siddhi will protect you. People, those who do Brahmachari, will have the Sandhya Vandana mantra, that Gayatri mantra protects you. For Gruhastha, Agni Hotra protects you. Vanaprastha also, Agni protects him. For Sannyasi, his tapas and Tyaga, Vairagyam. For tapas and Vairagyam alone protects him. That alone is his strength. Vairagyam alone is his strength. Nothing belongs to me. I belong to nothing. Everything is surrender. Whatever happens, let it happen. So this is your own nishtha. This is your devata. For sannyasi is a Vairagya Tyaga devata. For Vanaprastha, his own tapas and Agni devata. And Grahastha, his own Ishta devata. In those days, Agni or later Rama Krishna is your Agni devata. There is a story, a real story in Markandeya Purana. In Markandeya Purana, there is a story, one Brahmana. And this story is written by Manusambhava. In Telugu, a Kavya is written by an important poet of Krishnadevaraya into Telugu. And that Brahmana boy means he is a Gruhastha. You know, he looks after his parents. Nityagni Hotri, Tretagni, he does the 3 Agni Seva. Once, one sadhu who travels, Siddha Purusha, appeared at his home. And he asked them, I want to visit Himalayas because we Gruhasthas staying at home, we can't see. He told, I'll give you some medicine, some herb. You rub it on your feet and you can go to, by your sankalpa, you can go wherever you like. He goes to Himalayas. He beautifully, happily to his soul's content. So his heart's content, he does the, darshana of all Himalayas. By the time he does it, the evening comes. Just there was about to sunset. That means maybe half an hour, 1 hour was there. Evening 5 o'clock, 6 or 6:30, sun is going to set. Now he has to come back. He again did the sankalpa that let me go to my home. That herb which was rubbed on his feet, the Siddha gave him some herb. He rubbed it on his feet, that melt away because he was walking on the snow of the Himalayas. That melt away. That's all. That power doesn't work. He cannot come back home. Now he is searching for another Siddha who can help me to go back home because evening time is coming. He has to do Nityagni Hotra Seva. And parents, old parents are there. Now he is in trouble. Old parents do not take his food unless they see their son. And son also, the evening sun is setting and he has to do his Agni Hotra. See, that Ishtadevata you can never do. Never violate your Ishtadevata, Aradhana. Never take them for granted. More than everything, your Ishtadevata. Apachara, never do it. And he ultimately, he couldn't do anything. No, what he does it? Now there is no time. Sun is still further coming, closer to setting. No, he has to do Agni Hotra. Now he got the only one opportunity. He praises the same Agnis whom he has been worshipping every day. The Agnis help him instantly as he closes his eyes and he finds himself in his house. Therefore, your Ishtadevata Siddhi, Anugraha Siddhi always helps you. It helped Sita. He told that, my Ishtadevata Siddhi. Agni, which Rama and Sita together worshipped the Agni. The same Agni helped to quench, to cool down the fire set on Hanuman's tail. The same fire protects the Sita. Nishanke Nantaratma, with a clean heart, no guilt, no tension, no anger for Rama. Okay, with a full of devotion to Agni, as if she is praying to Ishtadevata. When you are sitting in front of Ishtadevata, my Ishtadevata Agni protects me. With that bhava, she entered the fire. Okay, Agni cools down, Agni comes out in a human form. Then the Devatas, I don't discuss these details here. There is one more point regarding Pariksha. Shall I tell? I'll tell you in 2 minutes. Regarding Pariksha. In those days, people were taking Pariksha easily. Nowadays, if somebody tests me, you get angry. I try to see some young boys or girls to come, school-going boys. They say, I am a mathematics student. I am so-and-so student. I try to put a simple question. A simple, very normal question. You can see them, their mind changes, they get angry, they get tensed up. Why? Because if I fail in the test, these days passing the test and getting marks alone is important. But in those days, testing is good for us. Testing is reinforcing us. But earlier, you see, everybody was tested in those days. Rama was tested by Jabali. Okay. Even Bharata's offering kingdom also is a testing alone. It is a partly testing and partly proving that he is not interested in kingdom and it belongs to Rama, giving back. And is also partly testing. Bharata was also indirectly testing Rama. Jabali also tested Rama. When Bharata goes to Bharadwaja's ashrama, on the way to see Rama, on the way to meet Rama, Bharadwaja asks him, why are you bringing all this army, etc. to see? Bharata told, I came to see Rama only. Then Bharadwaja Rishi asks him, if you want to see Rama, why did you bring all this army? Do you want to defeat him and kill him there alone in the forest so that you will have an unrivaled kingdom? So that you can have the kingdom permanently for you? Bharata cries and he says, oh Rishvarya, even you are suspecting me. If you, Trikalagnya, suspects me, who is there to protect me? I am doomed. You see, who is there for me? Then Bharadwaja says, no, I know you, Bharata. I know your heart is clean. You have got respect for Rama. You are a devotee of Rama. Still I tested just for two purposes. So that I want to reinforce your resolve. Your resolve, your respect for Rama. That you don't love kingdom. Means you don't have selfish interest in your kingdom. To prove your resolve, I want to reinforce two things. He says, Drudhi Karanam. Second is Kirti Vardhanam. See, let all these people see right in front of them. Right in front of them, I have tested you, Lord. Let all of them see. Then Bharata gets back his peace of mind. Otherwise, he was shocked. He was shattered. Even Bharadwaja, in front of everybody, suspects me. Where is this? First, he tests them. Later, he appreciates them, praises them. He gives the good certificate. So, in those days, this testing has been common. Once, this is good for reinforcing and also to give you good fame in the society. Good fame in the society, therefore this was testing accepted in those days. Rama was also tested, Bharata was also tested, everybody was tested. Here Sita is tested, okay. So therefore, in those days people did not take it very seriously. Testing was good for them only, okay. Dasharatha, now when Dasharatha comes here, he also tells the testing was done for your own goodness. Sita, don't worry. Don't upset that Sita, Rama personally rejected you. He was talking on behalf of society, okay. Now the testing is over. In fact, there was an empirical evidence also Rama could have done, as these modern people, more materialistic minded modern people want always, okay, I'll close with this. Modern people always want empirical evidences. Hanuman was the evidence because Hanuman visited Lanka. Vibhishana also could be evidence. And the Lankan women who were in charge of Sita, looking after Sita and Ashokavana, they could be brought as a witness. That Sita always lived separately here. So, certain things. And Jatayu was a witness. Okay. All these things, witnesses could be brought. But empirical evidence, I don't know. Rama thought that more than empirical evidence, this divine evidence of Devatas and Rishis would have. Rishi, Devata, Pitru. Dasharatha comes, I'll tell you tomorrow. Dasharatha comes, Pitrus come, Rishis come, Devatas come. All the three give their evidence. Empirical evidence, probably we have to say that Valmiki did not write that Vibhishana also gave the witness. Probably empirical evidence was also given, but Rama wanted this divine evidence first. So tomorrow we'll talk of all these three evidences. Briefly we'll touch them and then conclude. Because once the evidence comes, it is over. Now there is nothing more to talk about. Then the basic message, learning it. I think in half an hour or so we will conclude it. Then the talk of the last, sending away to forest. Okay, Parityaga. That also we will discuss probably tomorrow or day after we will complete it. And then come back to Adhyasa Bhasha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.